Welcome to T-Boys TV. We are back again with another Hatter Show, obviously episode 101. Obviously, in this one, we will be discussing yesterday's game away, obviously at Portsmouth, and obviously a bit of news has come out regarding Doughty's price being set and what it's been set at. So obviously, we'll have a little talking point about that. Yeah, like always, I'm joined with my dad. How are we, Dad?
Yeah, all good, mate. All good.
You're good. Good to hear. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So we'll start off with the Portsmouth game, like I say. Now, going into it, you said if we play a back three, we lose 3-2. If we play a back four, we'll win 3-2. I said a 2-2 draw. Obviously, it ended up being a draw. Guess it was kind of the game I expected, bar no goals really. But it was still a really good 0-0. I felt, it's quite end to end at times. But yeah, obviously the lineup for us was Kaminsky was a back three, and Harry did call it. To be fair, on Friday he said he had a feeling Bell would start in that left centre back role, and he actually did, and he actually got the lineup spot on there. So obviously it's Bell, Mengi, Walters, Doughty on the left, Chio on the right, Baptiste and Clarksey. Again, that was another one. I had a feeling Clark would be in. There was a lot of speculation that he probably wasn't going to be, but I had the feeling that he was going to be just because, I just felt it'd have been a bit risky. No disrespect to Nelson, but that's just not where he, traditionally plays. So, yeah, Chong, Morris, and Elijah. As for the bench, it was Chigozie, Francis Clark, Tom Holmes, Johnson, Ruddock, Nelson, Shea, Taylor, Woodrow. So, obviously, no Townsend. We know he's going. It's just a matter of time before that's officially announced. But yeah, it was decent bench when you look at it. In certain areas, maybe a bit of a surprise that Holmes didn't start again. We're going to be honest, potentially, but other than that, not really any complaints. I mean, I was still a bit sceptical about the back three. I'll be honest, but Bell is a lot more experienced, obviously, than Johnson. So I did maybe think it's a little bit of a risk because he's just come back. I'd maybe like to see him start in the QPR game we've got coming up. But in the end, we got a result from it, so we can't really complain, looking at it. But yeah, what did you make of the lineup, Dad, when you saw it?
Yeah, it's pretty much it. Well, for me, I was glad that the youngsters didn't start back-to-back games. I think that's more of a thing than that there would have. I don't think would have been a good call. I think we did go three at the back, but defensively, when we had to defend, there wasn't three at the back. There was other players coming back out. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think was going on. We defended much better. So yeah, it was interesting. Bell, obviously, he's a left centre back for us now, pretty much, isn't he? We know he can play on the left side and that, but he's been doing that for a while now. So we got to say, yes, not his main position, but it is his main position now, kind of thing, isn't it? And
it's where his go-to position is, from Rob Edwards. That's where he always wants to put him.
But I could see, like, when they were coming at us, there was four at the back. Players were back. It wasn't just the three that was exposed. So it worked on, but predominantly, yeah, the lineup stated that, but it didn't look too much like it did against Burnley. Was that they was free and they were spread out, and it was just and also Mengi was all over the place as well. I still think it's a bit dodgy going three at the back. I do, and Mengi, had a good game, and he was all over the place, like in that. And you can't be expecting him to do that every single game. I get why Holmes did start to a certain extent now. I think it's because they're trying to get him up to speed with like the rest of the, how the squad and how they are and that. But we're not in the Premier League, you know what I mean? So, but he did come on. He's our biggest defender. He's a lump, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, pretty much. I'm glad Clark started because we needed that as well in the midfield. It's pretty much the same, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. It was good to see Holmes, like you say, because we didn't see him the other day come on, which is a bit of a surprise if I'm going to be honest. But going into the actual game, now obviously I did a watch long because my alarm didn't go off, so I didn't go to the game in the end, as a lot of us know. I mean, looking back at it, as much as I said a draw, sort of glad I didn't because there's no goals. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, no, the
Like,
watch long, the Sky Plus was playing up. You know,
yeah,
they need to really sort that out because that's not the only game I've seen where it's been doing that. When I watched the last bit of them guys down the road play Millwall, there was like 9 added minutes, then it went into adverts in the last 3 minutes, when the game was quite vital. It was crazy. I remember watching Charlton when they beat Wigan away. As soon as Luke Berry come on, it said coverage will resume soon. You know what I mean? It's crazy, but it just went to the Middlesbrough game. A lot of us were saying it on the watch long. It just went to the the Derby game. Oh no, it was Derby Middlesbrough. Yeah, it just went to that game. We were like, what is going on here? But it come back in the end. Looking back at the highlights, the only thing I actually missed from that segment was Chong having a shot that went wide, not far away. So I didn't miss too much, but we started off really well. Started off really well in the game, had a lot of good chances. Elijah had a good chance. Morris, to be fair, the keeper made himself big, and I actually felt he done all right in them saves. A lot of people saying, "Oh, we should have scored." I'm not looking into it too much because, like I say, I do think the keeper made some good saves, and I also think, again, like I say with Elijah, man, he is getting close. Don't get me wrong, probably closer than he has in previous seasons at the start of the season. I'm just used to him being a bit of a slow starter, so I do expect that from him. So I'm not really gonna, give him a lot of slack and stuff like that when it comes to. At least he's actually, still having the chances. If he wasn't doing anything really, I'd be a bit like, right, what's going on? Like you even look against Burnley, hit the crossbar from the header. He is having the chances, and the goal probably will come a bit earlier than it tends to really in recent years for him. And then, yeah, I'd say Portsmouth, they grew into it a little bit, had a few chances. Kaminsky made a few good saves. And then obviously the main talking point is obviously the two yellows. Now, the first one, Rob Edwards, spot on in his post match. I don't really see the guy get proper angry. And he weren't proper angry, but he was like, why would I want my team to time waste in the 29th minute in the first half? Which is spot on. It's exactly what I was saying on the watch along. We're not a team that does that. We're not. Unless the only way I could ever see us doing that is if we play like Burnley away. But even then, I can't see us doing that. We're not that sort of team to do that. So I sort of think the referee, was here in the crowd, that home crowd was playing a part of that, to be honest, because we just wouldn't do that. And even then, like we said about it earlier, Doug, if anyone should have got booked, we'll be honest, it should have been Mengi. It shouldn't have been because he's the one playing the short passes to Kaminsky. And obviously, if you see the watch long, I'm a little bit skeptical of, short goal kicks like that. I just think you invite pressure on, but that's just my personal opinion. You know what I mean? Some people obviously disagree, and that's fair enough. Obviously Rob Edwards knows better than me, but just looking at it. But yeah, it's very frustrating there to get that yellow card. And then obviously the second yellow card was obviously there's no complaints about that. He's come out like that again. I don't know why he's come out that far. Again, I said that on the watch long. I'm surprised. There must have not been any communication. I know he shouldn't have been that far out, but at the same time, Bell was there covering. So I'm not blaming Bell. I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, did they not discuss anything? I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one, but when he done that, you're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Shocking. But again, Kaminsky 9 times out of 10, he does, do well for us. So it's the first time in it really. So I'm not going to be too critical. However, it could be a good chance for Shea to step up now. Come on and done really well. Again, like I said at the end of the game yesterday, 9 times out of 10, he always steps up for Luton and does well. The only poor game I can think of him having, Dad, is that one we went to against Stevenage. But other than that, he always steps up. I remember when Sluga had COVID, he stepped up. Shea, Nottingham Forest away. I'll be honest, I was a bit sceptical going into that game. You guys will remember that if you remember the vlog that day, just because his last game before that was that Stevenage one. But it's a good opportunity for him. He's still got the number one. There's obviously a reason why he's still got the number one shirt. And obviously, we'll talk about individual performances later. But yeah, bit of a frustrating one from Kaminsky, especially the second one. But to be fair to him, he come out and apologised. You know, I did think, you know, fair play, respect for that to everyone, because you know how some players like, you know, I know we don't really get players like this personally, but you get a lot of players that have egos and think they're bigger than the club, and you know, don't need to apologise, stuff like that. But he did to be fair to him. So is what it is. But I haven't got too much worries about Shea in goal. You know, especially against Preston with how they are at the moment. You know, I know I said about when we travel away, we struggle a little bit, but the way they're playing at the moment, you know, still haven't got a manager. It's a good opportunity to go there and win. But obviously, we'll get into that a bit more on Friday. But yeah, what did you make of the two Kaminsky incidents, Dad?
Well, you know, getting to the chances now, we look like the better team, which was good to see because we looked poor against in the first half, especially against Burnley. I know they won again at the weekend or whatever, but you know that will calm down. We looked like the better team, which was good, but we should do because they've just come up from League One. We've just got relegated from the Premier League, so that should be sort of standard, really. And you know, we're not sure it's only second game in, but we could have potentially still won that game. Especially in the first half, we could have probably scored been 2-0 up, whatever. Yeah, that's not time wasting at all for me. But we've been doing it. It's a thing that Rob Edwards decided to do. You can see what he was doing. It's not like I know, like you worry about it and that, but it weren't. You know, they weren't on us at that point. Do you know what I mean? And you're allowed to do it. And it's too. I see people take throw-ins that take longer than that, and the ref don't do nothing generally. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's just because the crowd straight away, as soon as he's got the ball, what's he meant to kick it straight away, or we're meant to kick it straight away? That's suicide. You can't be doing that. And you know what? He's doing it because he wants to see who's running for. I mean, I know I get it, but the keeper should be doing that. But it's a new chapter in football. This is common. Do you know what I mean? They do it in the Premier League all the time, and no one says fuck all. And he shouldn't have got booked. He's not even on the ball. So how's he getting booked? Stupid. There's a moment where we should have had a corner as well. A Doughty run forward, like one bursting run. I don't know, it might have been the second half, I can't remember, but it was clear. But you get that in this league. They should have had a penalty as well, I think. So you get that in this league, but it's just basic stuff. Like why would we be time wasting? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's why? For what reason? Exactly. Dominating. Why would we be time wasting? And if you're going to do that, when players start feigning injury later on, and like Burnley did against us when we had that good spell against them, you're not doing that. They need to sort of clamp down things. Like they've still got the same mistakes. I watched the Man City game earlier, some of it, and one of their players was offside, or a Chelsea player was offside. Sorry, but they kept playing for like ages. Just put you got matey boy in the Sky Studio, you know, fucking, I can't remember what his name is, but but they're told to do that. Yeah, for what reason, mate? It's stupid. I know we have got to really deal with that, but it is just if you know he's offside, stop waiting for the attacking phase to finish because
I agree. I agree with that. The blatant ones are frustrating. It's like, come on, because you're on about the Jackson run, aren't you?
I think I don't know. But no,
yeah, you are. And he had it on the left. I was like, surely he's offside. Like, he's way offside.
I was saying that. A keeper will come flying out or whatever, or something. They'll carry it on, and someone will get seriously injured, and then they'll fucking stop it. You know, it's always the way. It's been too governed too heavily by, you know, and it's meant to be automated VAR. Obviously, don't like in the Euros. It had the, you know, like the computerized images and stuff, but they're still drawing the lines. Like, it's still taking ages. Like, really. But yeah, the second, obviously, this, you know, he was out of his area a little bit. You know, he was eager to try and clear it. Whatever communication, he should have probably said to Bell, "I'm coming," or maybe he did. You know what I mean? Not blaming Bell because he was in his normal position, and he lost it. And then, do you know what I mean? He just went on like he was playing Street Fighter or something. Like it was quite funny, to be fair. And you pretty much knew he was going to go. And then it changed the whole dynamic of the game. You know, but yeah, it's definitely a sending off. But he made a couple of good saves before that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
He's going to, I don't think he'll do that again. He very rarely does
no.
mistakes anyway, compared to other keepers that we've had in the past.
Yeah, yeah.
Generally, spot on, and he's always doing something generally good in the game. Give him a bit of a break, time to reflect. He won't be in for the next 2 games, I wouldn't have thought. I know it's only a 1-game ban, but we've got Preston next. He won't.
Yeah, and then QPR in the cup. Yeah.
I'm sure Shea will probably start that as well. He is the number 1 keeper. Shea is good. He's very professional. But I don't think he can pull off some of the saves as consistently as Kaminsky can. He can, but not as consistently. I don't think. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he can't play out from the back at all either. Really, do you know what I mean? Not under pressure, I don't think. Which is not a bad thing. I know you're not really keen on that, but it is the way it is nowadays. You just got to kind of accept it, and that's it. Do you know what I mean? Unless we get exposed game in, game out, then it won't be changed. A lot of teams do it. But yeah, we was on top. I was pleased with the reaction. Probably should have been maybe 1-0 up, but we controlled that game. Even with 10 men, I felt we pretty much controlled that game.
Yeah. It's just come out, by the way. We all expect it, like I say, but apparently the Townsend move is expected to be confirmed in the coming days. So I'll probably say it's maybe going to be start of the week tomorrow. It makes sense. So yeah, thank you, Townsend, for the memories that you had. That Crystal Palace assist. I won't forget about that for Woodrow. Because we were shocking that game, the away game, absolutely shocking. Obviously, he got the winner as well, didn't he, against Newcastle at home? So a few moments, but overall didn't play as much we expected. Well, last season anyway, towards the end. But yeah, throughout the season, is new challenge. So fair enough, is what it is. Hopefully, we can see a bit more Taylor now, and we actually did the other day. So obviously, we'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, frustrating. But just quickly, something I wanted to say, and again, it's no disrespect to Portsmouth because I said we'd draw the game, and everything like that. And I've said they'd stay up. However, it's like, why would we time waste against a newly promoted team when we've just come down? It just wouldn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? And that's just, like I say, it's no disrespect at all. It's just straight facts. Why would we do that? So yeah, frustrating. But obviously Shea come in. Fortunately, it meant Morris had to come off, which I did feel a bit sorry for him. But like Rob Edwards said in the post match, he understood it and everything, of course. And obviously that meant Bell had the armband. Before Morris did get it, when the unfortunate stuff happened with Lockyer, obviously Bell did have it for a couple of games. So yeah, I'll tell you what, it'd been interesting to see if Bell wasn't available, who would have been captain when Morris come off. That'd been quite interesting to see because
Probably Clark.
yeah, probably because then you see who the leadership group is because there's usually 3 or 4, isn't there, or even 5 sometimes in teams and stuff. So yeah, but like I said, we had a few chances. They had a few chances, and it was interesting. I mean, going into the second half, they had a lot of waves, I'd say, wave of spells, but we just defended really well, especially Mengi, man. He was unbelievable in this game. Boy, he is quality. We all know that. I said it on the watch along, and I've been saying it anyway. I think, and I know you said it as well, Dad, he'll be our most valuable and vital defender, if he's available this season. And that is why, you're seeing stuff like that. It's crazy, like the way he got ahead of their player, when their player was quite far ahead of him to get the ball, he jumped across him sort of, to get it back. It's unbelievable. But I thought Shea was really good as well when he come on, especially his claiming the ball, coming out and winning the ball. He's really, really good at that, to be fair to him. Made a few decent stops as well. Obviously, they had their moment where it hit Ruddock in the face when he come on. Jeez, it was a bit of little pressure from them at the end, but we still had a decent amount of chances. And based on how the game went, I'll probably say it did deserve to be a draw. Like I said, I was very surprised there wasn't any goals because it was a good game, from both sides really. And obviously they brought on Richie, who I didn't think was great. I'm going to be honest. His shooting was a bit all over the place. I'm not going to lie. There was one moment he shot and it, went in our way. But yeah, they had a few chances, and the problem with both of us, I'd say, from the final third, except obviously the first 20 minutes for us, is just that crossing. It was just a little bit too much on it at times, especially from direct play. Anyway, the actual corners and that were decent from us, but Doughty was a lot better in this game. Covering, done really well covering as well, and stuff like that. So yeah, it was interesting. Obviously we've got a yellow card, Jordan Clark. Yeah, it probably was a yellow card to be fair. You can't really complain about that one. But yeah, like I say, Holmes come on, Taylor come on, nearly had a really good chance. The way it bounced back to him, we was all hoping he was going to pass it to Chong, but the way it bounced back to him, I was thinking, oh my God, this is actually written for him to come on and do this again, isn't it? But he was unlucky. He done well when he come on, and hopefully we'll see a lot more of him this season now, especially that, obviously Townsend's gone, that's another attacker gone, and he didn't actually go and bring Woodrow on, which I was a bit surprised, I'm going to be honest, but I want to see Taylor more. So in the end, it was quite positive there. But yeah, a few moments, Ruddock come on as well. But again, a couple of minutes to go. I mean, there was one moment he done a good tackle, just the pass to Real Walters was not the greatest. But Real Walters, again, another good performance as well. But overall, I'll take it. I'll take it. I said it'd be a draw going into it, and especially with how the game went with 10 men. Well, I'll take it. I'll take it. Definitely. Clean sheet as well. Like I said on the watch long, we ain't got one of them since, the Premier League. So obviously, I don't count the friendly. The Brighton game. Yeah, the Brighton game, I believe, was before the Newcastle game, and that was ages ago. So good to get a clean sheet again, to be honest. And Shea, the last two times he's played, got clean sheets. Because that Fulham cameo as well. So I understand why people are definitely confident with him, especially the way he comes out and claims it, man. I was actually really impressed with him, stuff like that. But yeah, what did you make of the second half, Dad?
Yeah, it was. It was dictated by the fact that we had left, a man down, and we still contained. Like I said, they were at home, had the crowd behind them, had a couple of decent chances, but I still think we controlled it and defended really, really well, as you said. And it was good to see that fight and a clean sheet. I don't think a lot of people, a lot of teams will get clean sheets there, because I think that once they get going, Richie is a good player, and he's only starting that. They'll they smashed the League One, title. So yeah, overall, point on the board, clean sheet, I think massive. Feels weird having a 0-0. I can't remember the last time we had a 0-0, to be honest.
Neither can I.
So yeah, like positives. Holmes come on, done all right. Shea, obviously, we know. Taylor, he gets, and it's good to see that he had 10 minutes and he could have scored. He's got that confidence, and I think he is going to be in the team now, definitely in the squad when the squad numbers actually get properly announced, which is probably, it's not been done yet, I don't think. Yeah, obviously you see that Bell's swap numbers with, he's got Potts' number, I think.
Yeah, and Holmes has got his number, yeah.
Yeah. And then Walters as well. We talked about him. I think he's a great signing. Baptiste again played as well. It wasn't noticeable, but he was doing everything correct. You know what I mean? That's probably why he wasn't. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't outstanding, but he wasn't poor at all. Like he was ticking over that midfield. Clark was really good. And then obviously Morris had to come off. Elijah maybe could have done better with a couple of chances, but considering he was like literally on his own for most of the game, really, you can't really be moaning about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, good point. Little bit. Yeah. And yeah, Preston away, another away game. They're in a bit of turmoil, but they're a bit of a bogey team. But I feel like we'd have made a signing then. I do think McGuinness is going to come to us. I did see something actually.
He weren't in the lineup, was he?
I think there was some Twitter earlier. 8 million plus add-ons. So that sounds about right to me.
Yeah, because you actually sort of called that. To be fair,
Yeah.
you said, didn't you, the other day? You said, you don't reckon it'll be 10 million. You reckon it'll be 8 million, but obviously
promoted or something. Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah,
and it was noticeable. Yeah, he didn't play, and they got absolutely smashed to pieces. I think he's got real ability. From looking at his stats, and I've looked at little bits of him and that, but he's obviously highly rated. There's some, do you know what I mean? There's some players you don't check out all the time. It's like with boxing. You don't watch every single fucking match, do you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It takes them to get into the spotlight sometimes. But he was originally at Arsenal. It's exactly the type of player we're looking at. Do you know what I mean? It makes sense. You got to spend that little bit of money. He'll end up putting other players out of the thing, and also you've got to cater, because the chances are Mengi is being looked at. There's no way he's not being looked at. He's decent in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? We could potentially lose him still, but he's 15, 20s as well. But I think he knows he's going to be guaranteed to start. We don't need to sell him. It's probably just the case as if someone very good comes in for him, but I can't really see anything. But he'll be a top player. We know that. Hopefully with us. And then we probably will sign the Swansea midfielder as well. But I still expect another couple, and we've got to hold on. Obviously, we talk about Doughty. But some people will be like, well, maybe we shouldn't be selling him and stuff. But his contract runs out, I think, next season or whatever. So you're going to cash in, you've got to do it now. Otherwise, you're getting nothing for him. Some people, I've spoken to people, some people don't think he's quite Premier League. But if a Premier League team comes in for like 15 million or 10, 12 million plus add-ons, then you're going to take it. I think we do rely on him a bit too much sometimes. I've already noticed this season that he's been switching flanks. He was more defensive in this game. And saying that about the ball where it's being overhit as well, I've noticed in a few games where that's happened, different games, not just us. So I think maybe it's the ball. You know what I mean? It's a bit lighter than normal or something, because these things happen sometimes. You know what I mean? But yeah, great point. In reality, they're unbeaten as well. First two games, they take that.
Against them teams they've played as well.
They would have looked at that initially and thought that's a tough start, and they've probably got an easier game next. Not sure, but I would probably have thought so. Unless they got Burnley.
They have got Middlesbrough away. Ooh. Middlesbrough have been trying to bounce back from the defeat.
I'm not sure. They're a bit down for me. Yeah,
that'll be a close game now. I reckon it'll be close.
So yeah, good point. Considering, we didn't really. It was a good reaction, and they all carried on, and that's what we. The only thing I would say is maybe. I don't know. They've only just come up. Do you know what I mean? Maybe against a better team, we could have suffered there. I mean, like Leeds or
Sheffield United, maybe.
Yeah, because they got quality players. Do you know what I mean? And they would have put a lot more pressure on us. It was almost like Portsmouth were quite happy with the point in the end, and that's the status we've got. Exactly. We should. They'd have been quite happy with that. Whereas a couple of years ago, they were then right at us. Because we were on the same similar levels and stuff. Then, do you know what I mean? But it's good that you got a little bit more respect, and we have still got players that can hurt them as well. So, yeah, I'm happy with that. Clean sheet. That's the main thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably one of the most things I'm happy about. So I say we ain't got one for ages since last year. So. Season, whatever you want to call it. Let's go through some comments. Big up to Harry. Says, evening, lads. Good point at Portsmouth. Yeah, indeed, mate. Bell, good performance. Yeah, really good. I thought maybe, I said it to you, Dad, I thought he'd maybe be a bit rusty just because he hasn't played for, quite a while, but he looked like he hasn't been out. He was really, really good in the game, especially his covering, his tackling. And I like Bell. You guys know that. It's just, when a player comes back, they're sometimes a bit rusty, but he wasn't. Obviously, he weren't going to play the whole game, but he played a decent amount. He could probably start in the next game, and he probably will, to be honest. And that's a good thing. We don't play during the week. So, hopefully we have more players back. I know Anderson's getting closer, Burke. So hopefully if we have one of them back as well, that'd be even better. But we'll see. Jackie says, hi, Dads. Thought he played really well, apart from Kaminsky. Nearly sabotaged our game. Yeah, I totally agree. I said it in my, reaction after the game. I said, I felt everyone played well, apart from Kaminsky. But again, I'm not going to be too critical. So I'll say most of the time he saves us. Prevents it from being more. But obviously that was more so in the Premier League. But yeah, it's just one of them bad games from him. But like I say, I've got confidence in Shea being a backup, especially no disrespect, but just the way they are at the moment, especially against Preston. Like I say, I'm not going to underestimate them because it's difficult going there in recent years for us. But the crisis you could say they're in at the moment, there's no reason why I should not be, confident that we could get something at least. Big up to Spencer as well. Says, hey, all big up. Super James Shea, you can go. Get on, man. Brilliant defensive work from defenders as well to be down 10 man away at a tough ground. Yeah, exactly. Very good point. Like I did have, you get the occasional people that are like, oh, what are you talking about? And a Portsmouth fan going, oh, how are you happy about that, Red? I said, well, at the end of the day, mate, going into it, I said it'd be a draw. We had 10 men for most of the game. And then he just used, just looked at it, oh, yeah, but you just come down. It's like, mate, what are you talking about? But yeah, exactly, for that long, exactly. Now, granted, it's different because it's the Premier League. But if that was last season, we'd lost at that moment. We'd probably lost convincingly. Again, obviously, you're playing better opposition, but still, to get that clean sheet was good in the end. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. So obviously, Kaminsky in goal. I mean, like we said, he made a few good saves before that, especially that first save he made. I thought that one was really good when he tipped it over. Second one, probably is one he should make, but still, at least he made it. But first yellow card, BS, like we said. Second one, obviously, there's no complaints. He was thinking it was UFC at the time. But yeah, I mean, did get a red card, so I can't go too high. But again, he made some good saves. So I guess because he got a red card, I'm gonna have to go over 5.5.
Yeah, I'll give him a 5. He got sent off. It's not. He knew he was on a yellow card, even though he shouldn't have been. And it could have messed our whole day up. You know what I mean? So, based on that, you just got to give him a 5. But I'm sure that probably won't happen again for the whole season. Do you know what I mean? So, in a way, it helped us. Weirdly, but yeah, got to give him a 5 for that.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Sometimes, obviously, we're not recommending it, guys, but sometimes you play better with 10 men. I see teams do that. It's like, what?
Especially nowadays. Yeah, they practice it in training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They practice them scenarios. And the basic scenario, generally, the worst scenario is if the keeper gets sent off. That's the one that they'll do all the time. So, it was obvious pretty much that Morris probably was going to come off. Because Elijah can, he's got the pace and that, and he's right up front on his own, so it made sense.
Yeah, it did make sense, especially with Chong still there as well.
Yeah,
a player that's good at obviously feeding the balls in, making a run as well and stuff. So yeah, geez, I think this might be the lowest rating Jackie's ever gone for. 2, no need for it. No, I totally agree. The second one, like I say, the first one was BS. Like that was just stupid. But yeah, no, I do agree. It was a bit clumsy. It wasn't 1, it was 2, wasn't it? They took out in the end. So, I mean, the Southampton fans were loving it, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, they were.
Oh dear. But yeah, moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Walters. Again, I thought he had another really good game. I thought he was one of the, rare standouts in the Burnley game. And again, he looks like it's going to be a good signing coming in. Obviously he's very versatile, like I've said. Been playing that right centre back role and doing really well there. So yeah, I think part of that clean sheet You know, I'm going to have to go. Do you know what? I'm actually going to go with a 7.5 Real
Yeah,
Wolves.
yeah, 7.5. Like the last two games, even in pre-season, we knew he's he's a better signing than Kabore, in my opinion, because he can play. He's already shown it. Yes, not in the Premier League, but you know, I'm pretty sure that he's got that ability. He's a bit younger. He's really good on the ball. You can see why he was at Arsenal, and you know, he gets forward now and again. I'd like to see him get forward more, but when you got a back three, it's not, and Chio on that side, it's not going to happen too much. But he has got that ability. And yeah, for the youngest player on the pitch, I think he done really well. So yeah, 7.5.
Yeah, yeah, no, he did as well. And you got to think, guys, like I say, he's never even played. Yeah, he's been on the bench for Arsenal in the Premier League, but he's not actually played this sort of football, you know, at this level. So he's come in and done really well. You know, I'll be honest, like I said, guys, when we signed him, I thought, you know, it'd be a few games and then he'd gel in. Granted, that's due to the injuries, but at the same time, he's come in and done really well. So massive credit to him there. Jackie says 7.5 as well, excellent. Harry says up the Saints. But yeah, moving on to the next player, which was obviously we'll go to Mengi. Now, obviously, you know, it was a great performance from him. Like I say, that tackle towards the end of the game where he got ahead of that player, unbelievable, mate. Oh, mate, that was actually crazy. But yeah, really good, you know, performance from him again. Good blocks. You know, he did do a few of them against Burnley as well. And yeah, you know, he's going to be a real asset, like we've said. So, do you know what? He could be up there. Could be up there for your man of the match. It's difficult for me. He's probably. Actually, do you know what? He is my man of the match. I'll edge him just. There was him and someone else, which obviously I'll get into. But yeah, he's going to be my man of the match. Obviously, part of the clean sheet. I can't think of anything wrong, so I might actually have to go 10. You know.
I won't go that high because obviously, yeah, we got clean sheet and that. But I think he really stepped up, especially after the sending off. He was good before that anyway, but he was all over you know what I mean, defending, all across that back line. So I'm going to give him a 8 man of the match.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's get that on. So the first 2 weeks, Dad, we've both agreed with both the man and the matches. We've gone with the same so far, so it's quite interesting. Jackie says 9 for Mengi. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. 100%. Moving on to the next player, Bell. I'd say really impressive of him to come in and, you know, not be rusty at all. You know, he had good tackles and, you know, was done really well going forward a few times, as much as obviously he had Doughty ahead of him. It's good to see that he still does that and he has the freedom to do that. But yeah, good performance from Bell. Because it was his first game back, I'm going to give him an 8.
I'll give him 7.5. I thought he was really good, really composed on the ball, knows his level, you know, I'm really confident in himself. You know, he's doing some cutbacks, you know, and keeping over the ball. He had that shot, yeah, it was, you know, a wild one, but, you know, sometimes I think he's got a banger in him, you know.
He has, yeah. A few times I remember going to games, right, and he wasn't far off. He's like, geez.
And also, you know, he took the captain's armband. He ain't played for quite a while. So yeah, you know, and I think he helped the other defenders as well because he's most experienced. Do you know what I mean? So I think that really helped. 7.5, yeah. And he probably will start the next game. I know about rotation and stuff like that. So maybe, you know what I mean?
But then again, like we've said, we've got that League Cup game coming up, so you can rotate a lot there. And hopefully, like I say, we have players like Anderson getting closer. You know, Burke, Jacob Brown as well. You know, and then we can, you know, give them a run out in the League Cup.
And that's why I think potentially we might, because them three at the back, Mengi's not getting, unless he goes, which hopefully he won't. No one's getting in his position now.
No chance.
He's injured. And then you've got Burke. You know, you've got even Hashioka. He's played there. You know, I can't see him. You know, Waters is better on. You know, probably in his natural position.
Mm.
So I don't know, like you're kind of like wasting players if you've got like three when they're all back, you've got 3 or 4 centre backs on the bench, and I don't know because Bell's good at he's played that position a lot of times. Burke, I don't think he's great there. Ashoka, you're not going to play there. Johnson, yeah, you probably play in there, but you're not, and if we sign McGuinness as well, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I think. I think then you probably will be going forward back, surely, especially in certain games anyway, because otherwise, like, how are you going to fit all them in? He's not going to come here, especially if we're paying 8 million for him and just be sitting on the bench. Do you know what
No,
I mean?
yeah, no, that'd be our most expensive
And
ever
not,
signing.
I
That way we take Giles. So
yeah,
yeah,
and I
that's
don't. You're going to be dropping Waters, Bell. Do you know what I mean? So it makes kind of sense that we might go for 4 at the back, but yeah, 7.5 Bell.
yeah. Jackie's gone with the 8s, same as me. Moving on to the wing backs, we'll start off with Chio. Much better from Chio in this game. Like I say with him, I want to see him driving forward. He's our fastest player in the team. I want to see him going forward and trying to take on, the opposition. There was a moment where he got grabbed. He would have been in. He would have been in. They pulled his shirt. Probably a good tactical thing for them to do. But yeah, really good in this game. He was trying to take on their players, drive them on, and done some decent defensive work as well. And again, that's not his, main, point. He's more of an attacker, as we know. So yeah, Chio, I'll go as 7.5 for Chio.
I'll give him a 7. Just not like just, but he could have got more. Got that cross in. He'd got an assist with the Elijah chance. Was a lot more. Yeah, was bombing forward, and that's what he's better. And he's always doing that, isn't he? Like he'll pass it around the outside of the player, and 9 times out of 10 he's doing them, and they have to pull him back. Do you know what I mean? But that could be, so going forward, someone gets a yellow card for doing that early on in the game, then the rest of the game, they'll have to double up on him. Things like that, it changes the tactics, having a player like that in your team. And to be fair to him, he was all right at the end of the game against Burnley as well. He was, switching, getting, and he's a good passer of the ball as well. Like, I think he's underrated with certain. Some people think he's just got a bit,
especially
of
with the moves he does. Yeah, the moves he does.
Yeah,
I agree.
But yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Jackie's gone 7.5 as well. She also said loads better. Yeah, exactly. He was. And yeah, moving on to Doughty. Again, done some good defensive work in this game. His crossing was much better than Burnley. They were actually decent crosses, especially the corners anyway. Some overhit ones, but overall, much better performance from him, I felt, in this game. So, do you know what, Doughty? I'll go for 7 for Doughty.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. I thought he was really good. Especially defensively. The whole team defensively was very good. And then that long busting run where he got the ball and like he should have won a corner. It was a blatant corner. And his general play was good. He's rumored to be looked at, but we kind of knew this. Let's be honest, we're all a little bit surprised.
Yeah, the amount of clubs he was looking at. Yeah, Premier League clubs. It was.
I predicted at least 2 would go, and none have gone so far. I'm not counting Barkley because that was a done deal.
Yeah, anyway. We always knew that was going to happen.
So
I don't. I'll be so honest. I don't like when people say Barkley. When they talk about this conversation, because he literally said a couple of weeks before, my main priority right now is to keep Luton up, but I do want to be playing in Europe.
Exactly. So, we have to just ride that out. At the end of the day, similar to the Elijah thing, I think he's still under contract. Elijah might be all right. I think he might be 2026, but Doughty's, I'm pretty sure, is next year or something like. We can do sell him or let him leave for nothing and have no money. He's one of our best assets, and if someone decent comes in from, you can't really. And plus, I think this season not so much, but I think last season we relied on him a hell of a lot, and he can't do that consistently. You need to have different outlets and stuff like that. And we got players who could potentially play in that position again. This is what I was saying. You could have Bell playing there, and then have Johnson in Bell's position, or vice versa, maybe. I don't know. Bell's probably better at going forward, but Johnson's still developing. Possibly even Chong could probably play in that position, maybe. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought he was decent, 7.
Yeah, he can play as a wing back, Chong. I remember Harry telling me a lot as well, because obviously he was at Birmingham, wasn't he? So yeah, again, that's another thing with Chong. He's
Chio's played on that side as well before. I don't
Yeah.
think he's his best, but he has played.
yeah,
on
he
that
has,
side.
yeah.
You know,
Jackie says Doughty 8, better game from him. Yeah, exactly. That's what a lot of him was. You know, bar obviously Real Waters. I thought he was obviously good in both games. A few others. Moving on to the midfield, Baptiste. Now again, it wasn't a really, really good game, but it wasn't a poor game, like you said, Dad. He was still seen, he was still doing good stuff, and you've got to think, you know, we still haven't really got that CDM. Obviously, we've got no camera, but I mean, you know, available at the moment, and hopefully go out and get one, you know, at least, or someone that could play there. Probably, you know, like we said, Liam Walsh, probably be that guy. But yeah, you know, I felt in the game he was good. He was still doing some decent stuff. To be fair to him, and I can't really think of too much wrong. So again, I'll probably go with a 7.
yeah, I'll give him a 7. He didn't do anything wrong. He was just keeping the midfielder ticking over, playing the right passes and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And you can see he's also got that quality, strength as well. Can see a pass. Obviously, was a bit more hindered, like, you know, as we were going defensively. I don't think that is his game. I think he's better as a box to box. Do you know what I mean? Like pinging the balls forward and stuff. So yeah, I'll just give him a 7.
Yeah, exactly. It's probably going to be with him like Barkley, you know, in the sense of they're similar, like we've said, you know, in the sense of how they want to play, how they both play. But maybe he might have to play a little bit deeper like he has been, just until, you know, Nakamba's back and we hopefully get someone else in, which, you know, obviously we think we will. So yeah, we'll see what goes on. Harry says Chong will do, but okay, yeah, I can't wait to see that at some point this year when he scores again. And we actually have a good result that day. But anyway, Baptiste 7. Yeah, no, fair enough. Same as us. So yeah, there we go with that. Moving on to the next player, Jordan Clark. Again, really good from him in this game. I felt, you know, we were missing him definitely. I would say in the Burnley game, as much as he's not, you know, a defensive-minded midfielder, I just think in the sense of what he can bring to the game. You know, we were missing that. Really good in this game, and stuff like that. So yeah, you know, obviously got the yellow card. It was a yellow card, but throughout the game, I felt he was good. So I'll go with 7.5 for Clark.
Well, I'll give him a 7. Yellow card, whatever. But you know, that's quite needed. But he was coming forward. He was as well defensively strong when he had to be. And was always some really good confident passing, running forward and that. And yeah, it's glad that he was starting. I think he's one of the most experienced players on the pitch, if not the most experienced, apart from maybe Bell. But yeah, I thought he done really well. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, no, he did. Sure. Jackie says Jordan's still my favourite 8. Yeah, I like Clark, man. He's still my favourite. To be fair, always puts in shift wherever he plays. Like I say, you have to give him that massive credit. And I'm flipping, now what's going on? So Sunday night party or something. The amount of times the buzzer's going off. So apologies if you can hear that. But yeah, like I say about what was I saying about Clark? He brings so many like different dimensions. I think is what I was going to say. And even when he wins headers, crazy because he's not the tallest of players and stuff. So yeah, man, you were definitely missing him in the first game for sure. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Chong. Again, decent game. Again, got a yellow card. I think he was just getting a bit frustrated, to be honest. But he was getting fouled quite a bit, like always. But yeah, throughout the game, I felt he was decent. You know, trying to run at players. You know, do his usual really in the game. So again, I'll go with another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. He's one of our danger men, but obviously, like in the second half, we couldn't really, you know, put him like that because of the way we set up. But yeah, the free kick, the yellow card, sorry, he needed to do that anyway because they're darting forward. You have to sometimes, take exactly. And he had that good shot earlier on, and it's looking lively. He's already scored. He's already off the mark. He's another one who's just smashed himself into the team basically based on the end of last season, didn't he? And I think he's continuing that, as I said before. But yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, no, he is definitely. 7.5 says Jackie. Moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Morris. Well, I'm going to have to just give Morris a 6, I think, because
I'll give him 6.5. I thought he's for when he was on the pitch, he was, he had a shot, he was getting in the right positions and that. Do you know what I mean? He looked lively. So I'll give him a 6.5, just based on that.
Yeah, fair enough. And then moving on to Elijah. Now, obviously, had a few chances, like we said, at the start of the game. But throughout the game, I think it was all right. Like you said, Dad, Morris coming off obviously didn't help him in that sense. And he was still okay, Elijah, to be fair. I think Elijah, I'd just go another 7.
I'll give him 6.5. I felt like a couple of chances he maybe should have done a little bit better, especially the second chance, when he in on goal, basically. Maybe he should have just kept it low and that. I see what he was trying to do. We know he's a slow starter, but for what he had to do in the second half, but I'll just give him a 6.5.
Yeah, fair enough. Morris 7 and Elijah 7, says Jackie. Moving on to changes, Shea obviously made 4 changes in this game. Shea, I was going to put him up there, but then I was thinking, well, Mengi played, the whole game. So I just edged Mengi as man of the match, but Shea weren't far off it. So I think the way he come in, you could say there was a little bit, not necessarily on him because he always does step up, but just of the sense of, we're down to 10. Mark's captain's had to come off, bit of pressure on him, maybe. But he come in, done really well, claimed the ball really well, made a few good couple of saves. And like I say, I'm more than confident with him in goal next week against Preston. Like I say, probably will be in goal against QPR in the cup as well. So, yeah, Shane, he done well again. So, do you know what? I can't quite go too high, but I'll give Shane an 8.
I'll give him a 7.5. I thought he was excellent. Like I said, claiming the ball, confident. Kind of thinking that's going to happen anyway because he's been at the club for quite a while now. Knows how to deal with certain situations. Confident, professional. That save where I don't think it counted because I think when the guy crossed it in, it was over the line already. But he still saved it, even though it Ruddock, I think, in the mush.
Yeah,
but it was it was a good save, and he has got that in his locker. But as I've said to you before, I don't think he can save consistently like that, like Kaminsky can. But if we look after the defence and help him out and stuff, then he's perfect. He's got that experience as well. So. Yeah, I'll give him. What did I say? 7. 7.5.
Yeah.
7.5. Yeah.
Quite a mad one with Shea, isn't it? Really, because we thought, obviously when he extended, obviously we still had a Crawl and that. Obviously we haven't been able to get rid of him because he's been injured. But we was thinking, well, he might not even get a game this season. Might get an odd game in the League Cup, but it looks like he's going to get, potentially, well, at least 1. Maybe 2, maybe 3 in a row.
What we'll say about Crawl, and what I think, my opinion on it is he is a very experienced keeper. Do you know what I mean? He's played in the Euro Championships, that save penalties and all sorts. Do you know what I mean? He's played in the Premier League,
World Cup.
Yeah, exactly right. So I'd say that when we've seen him in the cup games, he looks a bit shaky. Let's be honest. But generally, I think like his experience and his actual ability and his advice that he'd probably give even to Shea, Kaminsky and that, and Horlick, young Horlick as well, is invaluable. Do you know what I mean? he'll probably be gone next season, maybe even January. Depends on how it feels and that. But at the moment, he's number 3, isn't he? Shea's made himself number 2 now.
Mm.
You know,
And the third one's obviously the
he
younger.
back from him. Shea's going to be, you know, there. So it's an interesting one. And we still got our other keeper as well, who's gone out on loan again. Do you know what I mean? So at some point, sure. But we know we've been like, we've put out decent players on loan, and you know they've come back and we're like that, but because they're not getting first team football, and you know Walton's probably not you know, does it make sense? That depended on the Shea situation. We presume that Krul might go as well, but obviously it's not the case, so it does make sense now. Taylor, who we're getting into next, he's definitely going to be. He ain't going out on loan now. I can't see it personally. No. I can't. I think for me, he's ahead of.
He would have gone by now, I reckon.
He's ahead of as well, yeah, and you know, I think he's definitely going to. And we wanted that anyway. Do you know what I mean? There was talk they're going to do better for them, and maybe it was a choice between him and McAtee. Do you know what I mean? And I'd rather. I like McAtee. I think he's got some skills and that, but Taylor as a goal scorer and you know, Mick Harford was one who rated him in the first place. He's still young, as he's younger than McAtee as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, comparing him to like Macau Smith and that, and he does it. That run was brilliant. Yeah, he got a little bit lucky, but he could carried it on. Do you know what I mean? And he could have scored. He could have scored on another day. So I'm happy to have him around the bench. He's probably going to be starting some few games because players do get injuries and stuff.
Especially that League Cup game coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like that as well. So
and we've got Brown as well. Keep forgetting about Brown.
Yeah, I reckon Brown when he's back, I reckon he's going to be good.
Yeah, and that's what it is. I think if Brown was fit, then Taylor might have possibly gone out on loan again. I'm sure, but as it's worked out, he's going to be looking to keep himself and keep Brown on the bench. Do you know what I mean? A bit like Doughty did when we signed Giles. Giles started the first couple of games, and then Doughty come in and just run it for the rest of the season. Giles weren't getting nowhere near that starting lineup, so it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, well, I'll give my rating for him now because I'm ahead of it. I'll give him a 7.
7, yeah, I agree. You know, the run was really good. And yeah, it's a good opportunity for him. It was quite lucky, but like I say, we'll see him regularly now, especially if another attacker going. We'll see him come on a lot more and hopefully start some, like you say. You know, so we'll see. But Holmes as well, obviously come on for Bell, and yeah, you know, Holmes, a few decent headers. You know, when he come on, you know, maybe like you say, Dad could be, you know, not playing as much. Maybe get him up to, you know, speed a little bit. But overall, you know, I still think he's going to be good when he does play more regularly, and he was decent in the game. So I'll go another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well. Like, you know, there was a shot there and he headed it, you know, not on the line, but not too far off of it. He didn't get connection with that. And like I said, he's a lump. Like I said to you privately, I don't think he's massive at the moment, but I think we could be potentially losing him at some point, and that's, you know, why I think that we will sign this McGuinness. I think it is probably a done deal unless someone's come in and swooped him from under our nose. I can't see that. I think we're going to get him. I thought Holmes would be like Lockier's replacement. Me,
Same.
I would have stepped, but now we'll see about this McGuinness guy. But again, you've got to be playing like maybe a back 4. Like, I mean, I know you can rotate more, which is what he was on about and stuff. But can McGuinness play at left centre back or right centre back? Holmes can do it. I think Holmes did it in pre-season. Actually, I think he played across that back 3. I'm not sure about his pace, but his size and his, you know, reading of the game is pretty decent, and he's doing the basic stuff right. And like I say, he's just getting used to the way the team works more than anything. But yeah, I'll give him a 7 because I thought, you know, he could have come on and flopped. We've seen that before, like playing back. You know, some of their defending was questionable at times last season. But no, he was strong and done what he needed to do. So yeah, 7.
Yeah. I don't know if you've seen this, Dad, or anyone in the chat, but apparently, obviously, the Cardiff manager got asked about McGuinness yesterday. Like, where was he basically? And he's come out and said, I don't want to talk too much about Mark McGuinness. Let's see and wait what will happen, he said. It is possible he was left out because of that. Obviously, they got asked, about a move potentially. And then he also said, I cannot tell you if we've accepted an offer or not. The board can tell you more things about that.
Yeah, they clearly have.
Yeah,
It's just
that's what I was going to say.
that sounds a bit more like us as well, because we always,
Yeah,
I don't know, like try and keep it a little bit. You know what I mean? We'd have
it's
asked.
like even when we sign players, they mainly say undisclosed fee.
Yeah. They probably would be as well, but there is ways of people, finding out stuff. But I'd like to say that Twitter post earlier said 8 million plus add-ons done deal. So I think so, yeah.
Looks like it could be a T-boy discusses then, maybe at some point this week. But and another thing, obviously, you said about what positions can he play. According to transfer market, which is really good for stuff like this, he can play both at the centre back positions. Doesn't say anywhere else, but you know what Rob Edwards is like. He's good at bringing.
So basically, he can play anywhere across the back three in reality.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see, but yeah, I'll be happy if that comes in. But yeah, it looks like very likely now. But yeah, there's that. And then the last player, Ruddock, come on with 3 minutes to go. I can't really say, I was going to say 6. I can't really say too much.
Got whack in the face.
Yeah, I mean, clearly off the line, technically. But yeah, no, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it, really? 6, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. For me personally, I think it does say a little bit when, he's only coming on for a few minutes, so we need a midfielder, definitely. But yeah, 6, can't really say anything else really when it comes to that. So yeah, when it comes to the man of the matches, obviously Baptiste and Mengi, they're both on 2, so they're level. Obviously, they've done it from the start this season, so it'll be interesting to see how that ends up. Obviously, scores, like I said, I went with your 3-2, Dad, to us to say, if we won, you've got a point there. I said 2-2. So obviously, I got the Burnley result right in the sense of the outcome. So obviously, I've got 2 points so far. So I've got a 2-point lead at the moment. Should have actually asked you your prediction for that Burnley game, Dad, at the time.
I would have said 2-1.
Be honest.
But no, yeah, I would have. Yeah,
what would you have said? 2-1, you say?
Yeah, but let's leave it. Didn't. Do you know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah. To us or them?
Them.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's the same as me. And Jackie says Pelly, same 6. But yeah, that is that. When it comes to the game. So overall, we'll take it. We would have took a point going into it. We know it was going to be a very difficult game, but especially with how it went, with the red card and stuff, we'll definitely take that first point of the season. Hopefully, you can build on that now against Preston. I thought we'd play QPR first in the cup, but we don't. It's next week. So yeah, there's that when it comes to that. But yeah, we both briefly earlier spoke on the Doughty situation. Obviously, it's come out today. We've apparently set him at 15 million. I mean, I think that's all right. Let me know what you guys think. But I think that's all right because, like you said, Dad, he's got a year left on his contract. You can't really charge a crazy amount. Maybe if someone is actually serious, maybe boost it up with add-ons to coming up to nearly 20 million. But I think that's all right, to be honest. But we'll see what happens. I mean, I did talk about it quite a while ago. I said, would you cash in and take away him as a player? We know he's a good asset for us. However, like I say, he's got a year left. We've been heavily reliable on him, at times. At times, I do want to see Bell go. I know Rob Edwards does play him as a centre back, but obviously, we know Bell can play as a wing back as well. I want to see that at points. So it's one of them. It's like inevitable, like you said, that especially the amount of clubs that were looking at him. When it was proper being spoken about. Even Tottenham were in that equation, of looking at him alongside Brentford, Palace, and I can't remember the other team. West Ham, I think it was actually, wasn't it?
I don't think they're going for him. I can see Palace going in for him, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be interesting. if that is the case, because they've obviously got Mitchell there, who's obviously a decent player, and obviously they've been people's dark horses, you could say, in the England team. Doughty and Mitchell had them discussions behind Shaw and Chilwell and stuff like that. Chilwell's actually fit. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but yeah, it'd be interesting because, like I say, we're gonna have to cash in if we do want to get some money. We're gonna have to do it either now or in January. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys do make of that. But yeah, I think that's everything discussed. We probably will do this more regularly the day after the games. I think that'll be better to do that going forward. Day after the games, and then obviously have the ones a day before or 2 days before, whatever, depending on when the game is, when the team news comes out and stuff. But yeah, any final things that you'd like to say about anything before we wrap
No,
up?
yeah, I'd say I like to see that fight because that first, half, especially against Burnley, was worrying. We looked well off it and stuff. So I'm glad that they've just come up. And we've still got a place, and obviously good teams that are used to Championship football and that. But that keeping a clean sheet for a long time, playing with 10 men like that, that'll set us in good stead. And like I say, we probably get a couple signings through the door before the next game anyway. Maybe one going out, but we'll definitely have a couple of guys coming in. I think that'll be McGuinness and Liam Walsh probably.
Yeah, like I say, it's a matter of days before Townsend goes. So it's announced, shall I say? So probably expect to see that in the next day or two, I reckon. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Someone else might go, like say, but we will have them replacements, McGuinness and Walsh. I do believe maybe, like I say, I think maybe need one more midfielder for me personally, because like I say, we do actually have quite a lot of defenders, like I said earlier. So yeah, midfielder would be nice, another one as well, and then I'll be happy. I will be happy with that. I'll probably be a bit more confident than I have been. But like I say, we've got the point. Hopefully, we can build on that against a poor Preston team at the moment, if we're going to be honest. But we'll see. Obviously, we'll preview that on Friday. Get more into that at the time. But yeah, man, big up to everyone that's tuned in and everything like that. And Billy did put a comment before we went live. We are on 1.98k, guys. A lot of new subscribers yesterday. So yeah, we literally, as we speak, I believe we're 12 away from 2,000. So if we could get to that ASAP, that would be absolutely brilliant. Obviously, like I say, if Mark McGuinness does get announced, and obviously Walsh as well, I will obviously do T-Boy discusses on them. And yeah, like we said, Mark McGuinness, if he does come through, which is looking very likely, will be our most expensive ever signing. So, that will be interesting. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like Giles did at the time, but I don't think it will. I think that's totally different scenarios. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And then, yeah, like I say, it looks like Walsh could be in. Rob Edwards, we're just waiting on his decision, given by what he said the other day. And then, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, big up to everyone. Smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe as well to the channel if you haven't already. And like I say, we are 12 away. Just double checked, it is 12 away. So if we could get there ASAP, that would be brilliant. And yeah, man, big up to everyone that's tuned in like always. Follow me across all my socials as well. A lot of new subscribers on TikTok. Well, not subscribers, followers on TikTok as well yesterday. So that was good as well. And yeah, follow me on everything else. Join the Discord as well. A few people joined the Discord. The original group I had, the link expired after 24 hours, but this new one, it doesn't expire. So you won't have that issue if you try and join. So a few people did when they tried to join. So yeah, man, join that as well. That's all in the description. Follow me, all of that. And Harry says, good stream, lads. Yeah, big up to yourself, mate, Harry. And yeah, until Friday, we'll both be back for another Hatter show. And there'll be shorts out during the next couple of days anyway, reacting to stuff. If nothing does come out, but I believe it will, especially now we've got a week, to the next game. No midweek business, so we can just focus on getting some players in, bang, going to that Preston game. So yeah, until next time, guys, take care and peace.